Hey folks, this is Ben Gussel. I'm just out for an evening stroll. Night. Talking about stuff on my mind. So, I will be starting up the Fly Symphony here on the 18th, and just increasingly inclined to go, if I bring a bunch of students, something's gotta give. I've had a dickens of a time, folks, trying to schedule everybody last month or two, especially, but it was just, oh wow, it would make your head spin. I don't even know where to begin. The number of things I've had to deal with. I think I've definitely experienced some things for the first time. At least one thing recently. I know what that feels like. Some things I've never experienced, thankfully. I wouldn't want to ever experience. Let's talk a little bit about, I was mentioning some stuff earlier in this last video. Being happy, emotionally healthy. Having a good life. Well, it has a great deal to do with morality. I think we do need to be moral people. And the more moral that we are, the more happier we're going to be. If I don't say anything else, that's probably one of the best things I can say. There's these eternal laws of happiness. It's like if we obey eternal laws of happiness, it's going to work out for us no matter what. A lot of people don't believe in that stuff. Well, there will come a point in time when we all know what's true. It's just a question of what have we become? What's our character like? What occupies our thoughts on an ongoing basis? You know? So having a purposeful life, you hear all these wealthy schmucks talk about being successful. And they're adulterers, so many of them. And all that stuff. When somebody is just full of crap, you can't trust a thing they say. Really. Do you really want to hear anything else that they have to say about being successful? Even if there's truth to it? Do you want to? That's what I'm saying. It's a judgment that we make about people when people have seriously wronged us, that have been dishonest. Or we think that they are. Or we were just whatever. Sometimes it's just us being emotional. Sometimes, though, people have been very deceitful. It's true. It's Halloween colors. So, green, purple, and orange. So, I guess black. Black you can't see at night, of course. So, morality, folks. That's where it's at. Now, on top of just trying to be a good person, what else do we need to be doing to have a purposeful life? I think we need a variety of things that we're doing in life. Ideally. But there are people that were in concentration camps that were you see all their ribs, Their lives were miserable, but we know that some of them try to make the best out of it. And it's quite sobering how, is it Viktor Frankl? You guys know what I'm talking about. The one thing that people cannot take away from you is what occupies your thoughts, your dignity, these internal things, the inner things that are going on. But fortunately, the vast majority of us don't have to deal with that kind of stuff. You don't. And so, I mean, there's all kinds of things that we can not to be doing in life to have a more meaningful life. I think you know what they are, but if you're not sure, if you don't know, you can always ask me. And of course, many other people have their own thoughts and ideas about what makes a meaningful life. And there's always a lot of truth to what people say. It's just that there are things, you know, in your heart of hearts, if you're really honest to yourself, you know when people say things, you know what things are really speaking to you, at least. Things that you could do. And it's like, there's a scripture that I talk about as being LDS. We should not run faster than we have strength. What that means is, I'm not going to be able to run a mile in under 8 minutes. Not yet. I might hopefully get there at some point. But I'm not doing too bad. I can do better. I'm not gonna be able to bench press 300 pounds. Probably not my rest of life. But maybe who knows? I don't know. Nobody's expecting a beggar to be richer than Bill Gates. And nobody would expect Albert Einstein to be, how can I put this? Let me reverse that. Nobody would expect a kid with Down syndrome to be smarter than Albert Einstein. It just doesn't work that way. And that's okay. And then we think, these are comparisons, this is not good. We shouldn't compare ourselves to other people. Well, yeah, you're right. But also, as part of that not comparing ourselves to other people, it's like, what's the point of it? Why do we do that in the first place? Is there some reason why we're doing this? Does it have to do with this feeling of being a peer with somebody? They're a similar age or similar whatever? Is it because we want to be the best? We want to compare where we're at with other people that are our age? Because we can't bear to be the worst? There's always going to be a worst at something. You always have to have somebody at the bottom of the pack. In order for there always has to be a person in last place in anything. There always has to be a loser. That doesn't mean a thing. And people talk about being successful people, and being a loser is not being successful. That's stupid talk. That's dumb. Making lots of money is a skill that you can get better at, but it's not for everyone. There are lots of dishonest ways of making lots of money. I'm not going to do those things, of course. It's just no point. this is one of the things about life that a lot of people don't get. It just doesn't matter. I sound like Bill Murray from Meatballs, movie Meatballs, from the early '80s. It just doesn't matter. Let me ask you a question, guys. You guys are watching this. What did it matter if you got F's on your report card? Well, you didn't get into this college or that college. You didn't get that job or that job. You got a podunk job. Or you got a great job. Because jobs don't always require great transcripts, right? Or whatever. You get whatever kind of job. And it was, maybe you did great in technical college or something. I don't know. So what did it matter? Well, do you know how many people stress about grades still? And I've heard the whole idea of college is a Ponzi scheme. Well, it plays right into that. Let's talk about something else, some other things that just don't matter. Because I talked about things that do matter, like morality and like trying to have people in your life that you're connected with, and doing good things and being, expanding yourself, trying, become, all that stuff is great. It's all good. It's just these are all good things. What doesn't matter? Well, along with grades ultimately, because grades only. One thing about grades is that it just affects what kind of jobs you could have, and it's only certain kinds of jobs that people look at your grades anyway, and that's always subject to change in the future. So what else doesn't matter? Well, it doesn't matter if you're poor or rich or middle class, because after you die, you can't take anything with you anyway. So why would you care about it? You're only going to have it for the rest of your life, or you might change from being poor to wealthy to whatever. Money is transitory. It's a thing that we use, and at some point we die. It just doesn't matter. If you have what you want, that's all you really need. If you want more things, you have other things you want. I would think that would probably have something more to do with people, but there's probably some things that you want. I try to save money, and I don't know. If you want a piano, but the only thing you can afford is a $100 Casio or cheap Walmart thing, or just a toy piano, well, at least a toy piano is something, right? At least you can do something with it. Then maybe in the future you might be able to afford a nicer digital piano at some level. That costs a few $100s. And the prices of these things are always vary from country to country. But I've heard some things in India, many things in India can be a little cheaper. Maybe that's the case in other countries too. Because I watch Prasant's Check It Out channel, ASMR. Anyway, so it's just that, what else doesn't matter? Well, it doesn't matter if you have cool friends or geeky friends, because all that matters is the feeling you have and they have, the social dimension, right? That's all that matters, is that connection you have with people. And it changes from time to time, sure. What else doesn't matter? Well, let's see. It doesn't really matter what race you are, what kind of family you came from. The only thing that matters is really what kind of person you're becoming. So again, the morality thing. It doesn't matter. Let's talk about nutrition for a sec, because I talk a lot about nutrition, because there's a lot. It's an interesting subject, Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter necessarily what diet you're on that much. What matters is that you're addressing health concerns that you have. and you're making progress in it, or you're eliminating things. I mean, you're getting better, you're getting healthier over time, or you're learning things about your body, you're learning things about different foods, what works for you better. It doesn't matter that we find it doesn't. The debate ultimately doesn't matter that much. What's far more important has to do with understanding our bodies better and understanding what food does for our bodies. And so the technology does matter. When we hear about new research being done, those things matter. They're meaningful. But it'll be quite some time until we understand things as we ought to. Until we understand everything as we ought to, well, it's like, what am I most tempted by right now regarding the foods I shouldn't eat too much of? Well, it's chocolate. Chocolate's the only one. Chocolate can be addictive. And I talk about this stuff a fair bit, but ultimately, at the end of the day, what does it matter? Well, to the extent that chocolate is more like milk chocolate, and it might affect me in a negative way when I get old, that matters. I want to have a good life when I'm old. But it still doesn't matter as much as some other things. So it's like middling. It's a middle. It's important, but it's not, yeah, so, okay, what else doesn't matter? Well, it doesn't matter. It often doesn't matter. I'll put it this way. It's far more important that you are doing, somebody's just being loud, sorry. I do this stuff all the time. It doesn't matter, in a way, what your hobbies are, what they are. The thing that does matter is what you like about those things, or the enjoyment that you get out of those hobbies, whatever you're doing in your spare time, or same thing with your work, or it's like if you get a lot of enjoyment out of interior design, even if it's not especially high in demand right now, or if you get a lot of enjoyment out of watching TV logos like I do, or some things seem quirkier than others, but it's not always the thing. It's the why, and it's the what does it do for you that these other things aren't doing for you. I wish people understood this better. I would draw when I was little because, well, heck, pencils were everywhere and paper was everywhere, and other, colors were cheap, and I could just draw all day. I could draw what I was feeling and was imagining. I could practice drawing straight lines. I could practice drawing circles, freehand, and there was no wrong answers to things. And oh man, I love that. Don't you hate it when there's always a right answer and a wrong answer? So one of the problems with music in general, because it's a skill level thing. Yeah, there's still skill level. Piano, sure. And any other instrument, music in general, yeah, there's different skill levels. There always will be different skill levels, but looking at music only in a left-brained way is the wrong way to be. It's a very performance-oriented thing, or it's a very the creative side of music, the imaginative side, what about this possibility? What about this one? What about this one? That's where the real magic is. But again, this left brain, right brain thing. left brain's always saying, that's wrong, that's right. But often it's out, that's wrong, or that's not very good. Right brain is saying, wait a minute, what if we looked at it this way? How often do we silence our right brain? How often do we pay more attention to this thou shalt or this thou shalt not thing? Oh, shame, shame, for shame. Oh, you messed up. Bad you. As opposed to, well, aside from wanting to improve in this piece, do really well. I mean, I've had students that just will take a piece of music that I've written and they'll just kind of make a little change, and their mom did not like that. I said, yeah, okay, but yeah, we're always work with parents. Parents like to be, they are allowed to be there. They like to be there, and they like to be the left brain folks, don't they? I mean, I'm not even kidding, folks. Most of the parents I have worked with, I mean, most parents let me do my thing, and I do my darndest to be the best teacher I can be, of course. But most parents that do like to be there, they're left-brained. Humanity is all left-brained. The whole of us, all of us, we're obsessed. We're obsessed with skill levels and this is right, this is wrong. I mean, there's a place for that, especially when it comes to morality. But so it's like, I mean, sometimes doesn't a person just want to emote or imagine or do the what ifs? What if this? What if that? I mean, like when you're involved with creative writing, do you ever think to yourself, it's such a weird mix, just like music, it's a weird mix of left and right brain stuff going. I mean, poetry is probably one of the most, especially poetry that doesn't rhyme, haikus or whatever. The less structure that something has, the more you can let your right brain just kind of do what it's doing. I mean, that's the wonderful thing about art, and like, especially like this approach that oh gosh, Bob Ross, completely right-brained. Happy little mistakes. There are happy little mistakes. I mean, like, if you make a mistake in art, doing a Bob Ross painting, you just, oh, that was supposed to happen. Maybe that was just meant to happen. But you're in awe at how skilled he is of an artist. He can just do that, and you think we have to have all this technique and things. Well, technique helps. I'm not saying it doesn't. It's just that, don't you feel good after making even an okay painting? I mean, a lot of you guys can probably paint or draw pretty well, fairly well. I'm not the best at that. It's not my skill level. I love art though. I do. I'm just not a very good artist, but I'm not a good artist. I'm not a good dancer. I'm not really that great of an actor. These are areas of the arts I just didn't get into. It wasn't my thing. But don't we feel better after watching a Bob Ross show? Don't we feel better if we did something a little better than we used to? Why can't we take Bob Ross's way of doing things more seriously in our own endeavors? There are times when you have to be super exact. I'm not saying that a brain surgeon needs to be like Bob Ross. But, well, maybe on some level there's some aspect of that I don't know. You certainly want a brain surgeon who's calm, But number of super nervous performers. I'll be that way until I stop performing. Always want performances to be more enjoyable. We get nervous because we don't want to play. We don't want to make mistakes. Well, we all know about the whole mistake thing. It's all about more effective ways of practicing. But the thing about practicing is that the more still that you can be, unhurried, unrushed, just working on every little nuance, every little detail. That detail-oriented thing, I know that's something I can stress more with my students. Maybe more advanced students. It's about the details. It's about the details, right? When you get to a certain level of playing, bring those details out. Make the piece sound professional. And there are a lot of details, and you can get kind of lost in the details with some pieces. But if a piece can be played more musically, it should be played more musically, right? But we're talking about mainly adults here, plus maybe older teens at some point. It's amazing when a little kid can do that, but then you wonder, oh, this kid is doing Suzuki. They're just mimicking their teachers. Way of playing. Well, I'm not trying to put down Suzuki method, but we kind of know that that's going on, and that's a big deal in Asia, so I shouldn't put that down too much. I know, I should probably go inside soon. What else? We're talking about things that don't matter. Well, gosh, so many other things that just don't matter. I mean, does it matter that does it matter that you only have one friend? Does it matter if you're single or married? Does it matter if you have 100 friends or 1,000? Does it matter that you were just humiliated in front of all your friends? Somebody pulled down your pants, something like that. Does it matter, if you had sex, and you weren't supposed to, right? Does it matter? Well, I mean, again, I mentioned there's consequences to everything. But, I mean, and some things are not conducive to inner happiness. It is true. But, again, it's like, does it matter that you just had all your money stolen? I would think that would matter, but there are things that are even worse than that, like being raped, which you won't get to. That's just, oh boy, yeah, it's getting pretty intense. I understand, or it would probably matter if you were murdered, because then you wouldn't be alive anymore. I mean, it's just like, it's really easy in life to kind of get this bubble mentality. This is my life. It doesn't matter if you're in New York City, or if you're in LA, or Seattle, or London, or Moscow. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're in the middle of Africa, for crying out loud. We're always going to put up these boxes around us. This is outside of my comfort zone right now, or I'm not doing this right now. I could, but I'm not going to do it because of this reason or that reason. Those reasons are often very good reasons, but it's like, is that bubble? How porous is that? Is that, if you go outside the bubble, are you gonna be okay? Are you gonna survive? Something bad gonna happen to you? if I took a chance and acted like somebody completely different than myself, around some people that were just kind of being funny, it's often the humor thing, right? We want to be funnier. It's fun to be funny. I can be funny. I can be somebody a little bit further away from maybe who I am. I am funny. I can do that. But I mean, what's the danger in that? Well, there's really no danger, but it's like Jim Carrey. It's like if he can be all these different kinds of people, then you want to not lose sight of who you are. But let's talk about Jim Carrey later. Jim Carrey's fine. I'm not. Believe me, he's a saint. But it's just, I see what you guys see, and that's the danger of being a chameleon, is losing some side of yourself, who you are, even if you believe you don't exist. Okay, so I mentioned this before in other videos. I know I have at least a few times, maybe more. But okay, so I know I gotta wrap this video shortly. I might even make another one. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll make the third one shorter. Leave me thoughts and comments below. Catch you guys later. Take care.